Hello guys, welcome to .NET Office, and in this tutorial we will talk about the inheritance in C++. So these are the objectives which we're gonna discuss into this tutorial. So first is what is inheritance. So before going you what is inheritance, let me tell you this thing. So inheritance is a most important and most powerful feature in our C++ because it saves lots of time of as a programmer, and it provides the reliability also in our program. So inheritance is nothing but using the properties of a existing class into your newly created class. Okay, the class from which we are inheriting is called the base class, and base class as well as we call parent class, and the class in which we are inheriting is called the derived class, and or we can say child class. Okay, so let me tell you this inheritance more about through this example. So let's take an example of car. Okay, like suppose if there's a class car, so it will have its own functions like braking a car, then speeding and all those things. Okay, now comes we will create a one more class like supercar. Okay, so the supercar also will have those things like braking as well as speeding and all those things, but it will have its own new features. Okay, like is something smart, something like more speed and all those things. So what it will do, it will use all those properties of the base class like car, because it also need all those things, so it no need to create again all those functions and all. So it will use those properties of the base class, and it will add its own new feature into your into the newly created class. So that's it, the inheritance thing. Okay, so you can understand through this one in example. Like see here the base class which has like feature one x, one feature y. So in the derived class what we'll do, we will, these are the things which will inherited from the base class, and this is the newly feature which we have just included in the derived class. Okay, so like for the example, let's take an example of the bird. Okay, so in the base class we will use the eagle. So like eagle is also bird. Okay, so it will use all those, it use the all those feature of the bird class, like it also fly, it also has I mean all those feature of the bird it also has. But apart from this, it has its own eagle also had its own feature, extra features. Okay, so that's how the inheritance works. Okay, so this is the prototype of a inheritance. So you can see the class keyword and then base class name. It can be anything like car, then class derived class, for example supercar, then access specifier like public, private, protected. Okay, and then from which we are inheriting. Okay, so like here the base class name, like suppose this is the supercar, then it is inheriting from the car class. So here the car class name car will come. Okay, so let's understand more with this specific program. Okay, so what we have done, we just created one header file, then class base, then we just created two data members x and y. One is the private, one is the public. Then we just in the default constructor we have just initialized with the 10 and 15. Okay, so that's the base class. So in the then we have created one derived class, or you can say child class, which is inheriting the properties of the base class. When you say property, it means all those data members and functions you can use. Like here the data members and x and y, the value is coming 10 and 15. Okay, so you can use in the derived class directly, you can use here. Okay, so like in the what we are doing, we just directly displaying in the, we haven't created any members here, but you can use those values here. So first is what you are trying to print x, but like you can see here x is a private, so you cannot inherit the x because it's a private data member cannot be accessed out of the class. So that's the reason when you will try to access x, it will give compiler error. So okay, but you can use the you can print the value of y, you can access the y because that's the public data member. Okay, So when you will try to, now we just created one object, okay, derived class object. You can see derived class object because we just use the derived class name, and then we have just created object and we are just calling that member function display. Okay, so here the output will come, value of y in the class is 15. Okay, so you can compile this particular program into your compiler and you can see like the result will be same. So these are the types of inheritance, like single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, hybrid inheritance. So these, all those things we will discuss in our next tutorial. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please let us know your feedback through comments and please subscribe our channel as well. Thank you guys.